Starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV begins right freaking now. They're my boys, Ira and Corey in the other room. Me and here running the production board and talk with you guys. What a day to do a show, huh, boys? What a day to do a show.
Just incredible.
Man, it's like the football gods do. They're like, here's some good weather, too.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, man, it's been great here.
There you go, guys. There's a little, not only are you going to whoop that ass, here's a little good weather.
Yeah.
To let it all
sprinkle in a Bill Belichick loss, too, on a Monday night, a Dion loss on a Friday night.
Ooh, man, what a weekend and what a glorious time for so many Noles, and one that was desperately needed for sure. Before we get started, we begin by saying, yay, sausage!
A big weekend for registers, too.
Huge.
Guys, I went over to Costco because they had the big road show, which was basically, it wasn't just giving out samples. They did, like when you go in and they've got like the display, like where there's cooking up food.
Yeah.
They had like, they were cooking up registers
nice.
to give away samples. And dude, so they apparently had, listen, we put out the call.
Yeah.
The headliners responded. I think he said something like 40 cases of sausage to start with. That was what they thought they needed for the weekend. Brought it in on Thursday. Had sold out of it by Friday.
Amen.
Had another shipment delivered for Saturday.
Unbelievable.
Had sold out of that by Sunday. And I think they wanted to have they wanted to have it later in the weekend, but it was already all sold out. By the time I got there, they had been cleaned out. And I asked, when I got there, I didn't see the display. So
You're not selling it. You're just saying that they don't have any sausage for everyone.
No, that was the whole point of it. They don't normally carry it.
I see. I got you.
This was like a test trial. This was a trial run to see what the demand would be.
And it delivered wholeheartedly.
Exactly. I probably should have explained that. But yeah.
Don't go to Costco for sausage.
The manager was like, they couldn't believe how much they sold.
They've never seen anything like it.
Cases and cases of register sausage. So good work, Tallahassee. Good work. And so hopefully they'll be in there permanently at Costco. But if you don't live in Tallahassee, you can go to registermeats.com. There's a promo code right now. I think it's 31% off if you because of the 31 points. That's the promo code.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to look it up real quick and see what the code is. But it's 31% off to get your registers if you go to registermeats.com.
I mean, that's not like a little discount.
And there's a tie-in with the Warchant family because Corner Pocket sells register sausage bites. Corner Pocket ran out of food Sunday night at the end of the Miami Notre Dame game. And that's not an indictment of Corner Pocket. It means football is back, and this fan base was hungry. Hungry. And Saturday satiated an appetite. But now you're hungry for more, Jeff and Ira. Now you're hungry for more.
Very much so. It opens the door to new possibilities.
Yes, agreed.
I would also point,
we'll get to the code real quick,
before
Ira.
you give me the code, I just want to say, because you brought up the sausage bites at CP, those things are freaking addictive.
They're great. They're incredible.
I mean, they give you it feels like they give you 50 of the little, cut up. I could eat another 50.
Yeah.
Every time I finish those 50, I'm like, well,
there's got to be some more coming. Who else is ordering at the table?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, go ahead.
But the promo code to get 31% off is no rescue, all caps, because
because what Castellano said.
Nick wasn't there to save them.
Exactly. Yeah. And he did a 5, like the 5 free samplers or whatever. That deal's not open anymore, but it was right after the game. And the promo code was Sweet Home in all caps, which I appreciated that. Yeah. So anyway, get your register sausage.
Well, now we're done with the segment.
Well,
segment's over.
Hour number 2.
Well, and is that you today?
That's what chat
Ira
is
just
telling
said.
us.
Y'all might have made me say that I would do it.
I don't know if we made you. I just think that in the moment we all got a little caught up.
Yeah.
And you were asked several times if you
that's
would
worthy of an hour number 2. And I guess it is.
I did do 3.
But
then I said I'm not. Oh, yeah, you did some shots last
night.
How you feeling?
Oh, good, man.
You're not a big shot guy during the week, so I wondered.
I didn't continue. After the show, I put it away.
Sometimes those shots lead to more
they
shots.
They do,
That's the problem.
It's not really the vibe of your house, though. To do shots, everyone.
Shots. You should have said, Kim, listen, this is not stopping right here.
Yeah, we're going.
We're going for more shots.
Put the kids to bed.
Yeah, we're having a good time tonight. Well, listen, yes, it does satiate the need for a big win and to get the bad taste out of our mouth and new data points and things to celebrate. And, I thought they passed with flying colors across the board. I tweeted as much when I went into the stadium because I had my doubts. not just about whether or not they'd win that game. I thought they'd lose the game. I had my doubts that this thing would be operated as smoothly as it was on Saturday.
A lot of positive feedback.
And
there's always going to be some complaints, and that comes with the territory, and those are probably legitimate complaints. But
pretty much
overall,
home run, yeah.
Overall, it seemed like a great
home run. I think it was so important for the university, for the athletics office, for the team, the players, the coaches, and obviously it was such a relief for the fans. I think most people will bask in the glow for a week. I don't even think that you can wash that away anytime soon because you got two.
I think it's going to be 3 weeks.
Not just bask in the glow, but the way they played, I think people are going to want to go see them again.
Yes,
even against those lesser teams, and that's pretty cool.
Also, as much as you paid for those seats and the licensing fees, you need to go to all the games anyway. Get your money's worth.
I mean, look, we begged for it, right? We said, I mean, the caveat when we were picking Alabama to beat Florida State was, well, do you play hard? Do you hit people? Do you care? Do you play, do you look buttoned up? Do you have a clue? Are you well coached? Do you play hard? Man, check. And oh, by the way, throw in a little ass kicking for you. I mean, you could it exceeded expectations across the board. I know there are very few exceptions out there in regards to that fan experience. Almost everybody I've talked to, in fact, everybody I have talked to, said that they absolutely were blown away.
Couple of quick complaints to get them out of the way.
Why?
I mentioned this on Wake Up, just to get them out of the way.
Why?
Why it's the video board. The video board with the stats. It's not a great use of space there, but it's fine. They have the stats. But on the bottom, they put out of town scores, and it's confusing because it has
you're correct.
Yeah, it's a 10-0, and it's like, is this game 10-0 right now?
No, that's not the right game.
That's a Penn State playing Akron or something, but it says a 10 and a 0 right there.
Yeah.
Got to fix that, and obviously got to fix the paint. Everything else was, I thought, was first class. Stephanie missed the fireworks, but nobody misses fireworks.
Well, my dad missed the fireworks.
Oh, did he? So he noticed it too? Okay.
Fireworks. He was like, can we get the fireworks?
I thought overall it was a really, really, especially consider where they were last year, that home game. The loss, the DJ, that experience was it was a waking nightmare for everybody in that stadium. And then this first home game of this year.
But my contention at the time was that the DJ was so irritating because the team stunk.
No, it was also irritating.
It was irritating either way.
It was.
Yes,
I'm just saying it was accentuated.
It was heightened. Yes.
Because if they played like crap, people would have been talking about that paint for weeks.
Well, the paint was
but
bad.
nobody's even talking about the paint.
The paint was bad.
But nobody's talking about the paint.
This guy did. I'll bring it up. I'm
Other
not
than
afraid.
him.
I'm not afraid.
Well, I think everybody brought it up in passing after.
But they didn't dwell on it. But they didn't.
I wasn't
dwell on
dwelling.
it.
I just want to get out of the way to now talk about the positive.
What I'm saying is, if you played like you did last year, people would have dwelled on it, and the whole experience, they would have found. I'm just saying, it changes the whole mood. And the other thing that I thought was awesome about that game was just turning on college football and hearing everybody talk good about Florida State.
Yeah.
They were doing it last night while Belichick was getting hammered.
Yeah. There was no wiggle room. There were no caveats to be thrown out there. Everything about the performance was fantastic. I mean, they were more physical than Alabama. They won in the trenches, which I don't think anybody predicted they would do. They dominated most of the game, or they certainly played much better than Alabama for most of the game.
Daniel Lyon said they expected it.
Well, and I'm surely the players may have. I mean, you got to believe in yourself, right? But to watch that play out that way, it's a home run across the board, man. There's nothing really it would be petty of me to try to find something. I really can't. I'm
petty. I'll be petty. I don't care.
Well, I'm usually accused of being overly negative, guys.
Yeah.
I just want you to know I couldn't find much. I think we can be a little bit more consistent in the passing game.
You can catch a punt. You can catch a punt.
Well, this is the
but
universal.
This isn't the segment of this show.
But also,
we don't
by the way, that's across regimes. We've really had a hard time with the punt catching.
It's unbelievable.
I got a theory on that, but I'm going to save it for later in the season. I'm not dwelling on negatives right now.
No, but I will say what's cool is that, you know how coaches love after a big win like that, are there enough mistakes that you can get on, guys? Yeah. That special teams blunder. There's I think they can be better in the passing game. They were late on some things.
Missed sacks.
Yeah, but I mean, to get a win like that, of that magnitude, to see that your guys are bought in completely, play hard for each other, play hard for their segment groups and coaches, hit people. I mean, Florida State was the much more physical team. To have all of that happen and then just still have a little bit of room to say, look, we can get much better than this. What a perfect afternoon into the evening.
Because it wasn't, you can win games by 2 touchdowns and it feel fluky or lucky. This was nothing fluky about this. And Norvell said Monday he was kind of pissed off they didn't win by more, which I thought was a great quote for him to say. Go for it, own it. But yeah, man, I just, the way that looked really from start to finish, but especially the finish, like, you know, you needed a 4-minute drive to ice the game. There you go. Game over. They didn't even get the ball back.
75-yard drive when you had to have it.
After they cut it to whatever they cut it to, 24-17, and then when you get the ball back because you stop them a half an inch short, you milk the clock and run out the clock. I mean, that's the stuff that winning teams do, and that's the stuff that portends to having what could be a really good season when you can do that already, when you can get a 4-minute drive against Alabama and they don't get the ball back. That's good stuff, man.
Across the board, they just looked well coached.
So
much
more well prepared than it. Yeah, everything about their game plan seemed more thoroughly ingrained for their players to execute than whatever Alabama was doing. I think Bama was in shock that after the opening drive, which was a laborious, long, eat-the-clock drive, that they couldn't run the ball anymore. And I don't think they could have ever envisioned that the game was going to have to be on the hand of Ty Simpson to win it. I mean, from that point forward, he was their best rusher by far. And in addition to that, really, they weren't in a position to just line up and run the ball against Florida State because they were losing at the point of attack.
But the thing is that it's like they had their notion of what the game was going to look like and didn't adjust at all in terms of that, because they clearly came in thinking they were going to be able to run the ball and Ty Simpson was going to be great and they'd be able to make line checks at the line of scrimmage. And all. It's like, dude, after the second drive, you could tell the crowd's going to be a problem for you. You can't be getting the call.
Was awesome.
They're getting the plays in. It was like Jimbo. They're getting the plays in at 15 seconds, and then he's making checks at the line.
It's almost insulting. It is insulting. Like to think that, we're going into Doak Campbell Stadium. This will be easy. We'll be able to make checks. It's like, no, man. Last year's team is not what Florida State is as a program, and that stadium isn't what it is now. Right. Like that stadium last year, you had half the crowd, and the team sucked. So there was never any energy or excitement. But you're going into a Florida State team that is hungry, and if it's a close game, which it was the whole game, you're not going to be able to just, there's 8 on the plate, there's 8 on the game clock or play clock. Let me go make a check.
Yeah.
No, man, this is Florida State. This is an SEC type stadium, man. You wouldn't be going into Neyland and thinking, hey, you make your checks with 12 left. Let's get the play in late. Like, no, man, this is Florida State. Show some respect.
I think they were confused too, though. I don't think they could play that. They were very confused. Tony did a very good job of disguising his looks and what he was doing.
But at some point, just call the play, man. You are getting play in quicker, I mean.
It was interesting because watching the moments where, they wanted to play some old school football and couldn't. You could just see sort of the surprised look on Alabama's players' faces, and Florida State feeding off of winning in the trenches physically. And it just got better and better. It's a crazy stat, right? So from 14-7, now that we think about it, Alabama never got the ball with an opportunity to take the lead from that point forward.
No, or to tie the game.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Because it went 17-7, they never had a chance to tie the game.
Yeah, so it's even when it gets to, so it gets to 24-17.
That's ran for less than 100 yards.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Florida State was dead last in the ACC last year in rush defense. And Alabama ran for less than 100 yards, and their quarterback had their 3 of their 4 longest runs, and 2 of those were on the first drive. Like, come on, man. Like that. We don't know what Alabama is going to be, but I know what I feel like. It's one small sample size. It's 60 minutes. I feel like I know what Tony White is. Like, I got a pretty good impression of what he's going to be as a defensive coordinator here, and also what he's done at Nebraska and Syracuse. This guy's the real deal. Like the real deal, not just scheming it up and confusing. That's great. Man, those guys, a lot of those guys were on the team last year.
They played really hard this year.
Jabril Rawls, different dude. Ashland Barker, different dude. Earl Little. He's just, that's how he plays.
But he didn't play like that last year.
We didn't get a chance to.
Couldn't use him again.
We didn't get a chance to.
Well,
but the point is, like, they play hard for that. Whether they're playing hard for each other, Tony White, that team plays recklessly hard.
Yeah, and that was the whole, going back to when he got hired, and it probably didn't matter who it was going to be, but certainly when we first got to talk to him and got a sense of who he is, that was one of the biggest things I wanted to see out of this defense was they did not play that way for Adam Fuller
at all.
And so it's not always about your scheme. It's not always about what you're teaching. Sometimes it is, do those guys believe in you, and will they put their body on the line for you? And will they play with reckless abandon? Tony White gets that out of them, just like Mickey Andrews got that out of them. And that's the difference. And Jeremy Pruitt did. And going back to the year from Jeremy Pruitt to Charles Kelly, it wasn't necessarily just about the schemes. Those guys believed in Jeremy Pruitt. They believed in what he was coaching them to do, and they did it. When Charles Kelly took over, you could tell they didn't believe in it. And that's I think we're seeing the difference in those
By the
two.
way, real quick,
I'm glad for these players because there's guys that we judged based on what they looked like last year that are a lot better players than we probably realized.
Charles Kelly almost got a big upset dub on Thursday night against UCF, right?
Yeah.
Jack State.
Well, Charles Kelly.
Didn't realize he was the head coach. They kept showing him the volume was down. I was like, why do they keep showing the DC when they're about to kick a field goal?
He was DC at Auburn. I think.
And then he's the head coach at Jacksonville State. So good for him. But yeah, they that Florida State defense, that's something you can get really excited about, I think.
Well, and I think really quickly too, when we talked to Tony, and then when we heard him post practices, when we got him, he certainly came across as a guy who has a set of standards that you have to live up to, that you have to play to if you have any expectation of ever getting on the field. And I think a lot of coaches say that, and a lot of coaches have those standards in their head that this is the way it has to look. But the willingness to sit people, whether they're veterans, whether they've started, whether they've been guys that you thought you were going to have to count on based on that experience, to enforce those rules, to let the others know this is the standard. Either you commit to that or I can't play you, and then follow it up by saying, no, you know what, you're third string, or you're gone, or whatever it might be. Man, I do think that was the hardest thing to accept last year. There were a lot of guys who didn't meet a standard of play and were allowed to go back out there. Mm-hmm. And none of that is true now. I think you see that by the fact, just the depth chart alone. When you look at it, you're like, well, you're not afraid to put a walk on there, huh? You're not afraid to put this guy over this guy. This guy's played a lot more football. It tells you that they've met that standard. So, yeah, there are going to be games where they won't look as dominant as they did, but there won't be games in which they don't play hard and hit people. Like everybody from Florida State and that fan base wanted to see a defense they could be proud of because they show up and hit.
And how about on the other side of the ball real quick? We talked to Herb Hand today. 4th and 1 at your own 34 with a touchdown lead in the fourth quarter against Alabama. And there was no hesitation from Norvell. Some of that I think was game flow, but also the fact that, we brought in a big, experienced offensive line. We're gonna get this first down, and I brought it up to Herb Hand today. It's not just they got the yard; it wasn't trickery.
It's a run.
It was just a power run with Roydell Williams, and you got 2 yards. And he brings up, if you watch that interview, he talks again and again about Richie Leonard on that play, making basically a 2-for-1 block, getting a linebacker and a defensive lineman. And when he's falling to the ground on the ground, and he sees that they got the first down, he's banging the field. Mm-hmm. He's so excited because he knew how big a play that was, and he's that invested. That stuff matters, man. It just matters. Too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When it matters to these guys that haven't been here for their whole careers, that's a really good thing to see.
Means you got buy-in. Again, these new coordinators got buy-in. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment. Game day in Tallahassee starts with energy, and nothing fuels that spirit like Grassroots Coffee brand new End Zone Blend.
That's right. Every cup of End Zone Blend doesn't just taste incredible. It also supports our Florida State Seminoles football program.
Grassroots Coffee knows it's about commitment and being all in. Every sip of End Zone Blend helps push the program forward, supporting the grind and the climb.
So whether you're at home, have a business, or just getting fired up before kickoff, make End Zone Blend part of your game plan.
Support local and our favorite coffee roaster. Order Grassroots Coffee's End Zone Blend today at grassrootscoffee.com. And let's keep driving the Noles to victory.
It's that easy. Drink Grassroots Coffee and help support the Florida State Seminoles. And don't forget, you can get 15% off your first order at grassrootscoffee.com.
Grassroots Coffee's brand new End Zone Blend.
Grassroots Coffee.
Made for everyone.
Loved everywhere.
Go custom with your window coverings with help from Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Budget Blinds brings their showroom to your home with dozens of color and pattern choices. Just tell them what you love and they'll make it happen. From designing custom draperies and Roman shades to color matching your blinds and shutters.
I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds Tallahassee, where you get beautiful style and expert service for any budget. Call 668-4835 for a free consultation online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the big chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachia Parkway.
Wooden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Wooden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Wooden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Wooden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Wooden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
I got some pretty spooky news from my Paul's termite and pest control technician the other day. It turns out that I'm sharing my home with Formosan termites. Those little monsters do damage about 4 times faster than the regular termites. Fortunately, Paul's discovered them on a routine general pest service, and they've already turned the Formosans back using an amazing treatment called Centricon.
Paul's was the first to introduce the Centricon termite colony elimination system to North Florida and is the leader in this non-invasive treatment. Instead of dumping gallons and gallons of harsh chemicals into our soil, Centricon uses environmentally sensitive treatments loaded in bait stations. These stations are placed around the home. Termites are present, they feed, and take it back to the colony, which is then destroyed. To learn more about Centricon and a free consultation, go to callpauls.com for the elimination of termite or any other pest.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
It's a great week to roll over if the weather stays beautiful like this to Thomasville, get some Tavello.
Oh, no doubt.
And, yeah, man. Some, you can
on
get.
the patio?
I was going to say, those early evening on the patio, maybe. Just sit back. You got a driver, you could have 6.
You could have 6 if you don't have to drive.
Stop there if you have a driver?
If you have a driver, you usually have your driver.
I
with
do.
You.
Yeah. Well, no, I give them Tuesdays off.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, usually I have my driver with me every other day.
But yeah, Tavello is located in the heart of downtown Thomasville, right before you get to downtown Thomasville. It's just right up the road. And they do have the tap room with all the different varieties, the stouts, the IPAs. We love the coffee blonde. They also have a great lager, the Rose City lager, which is just the basic standard lager, but it's delicious. And you can get flights, the whole variety, man. Check them out. And great people, Maurice and Lynn and the whole crew up there, the huge Knowles. They were at the game on Saturday, and
yes, they were.
Go check out Tavello.
I'm gonna see if I can get over there maybe on a Thursday this week.
Okay.
They do anything special on a Thursday?
Probably for
sure
you.
If I'm there, they might.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I think Tuesday and Wednesday are the big like bingo or
that's why I'm going Thursday,
trivia.
guys.
Thursday's just Jeff's coming.
Smart.
But let me know.
That Jeff swings on it.
Let your boy know if you're going to go.
All right.
I'll be your driver.
Okay, that's true. You know when to say when.
I do.
I typically don't. Gets a little silly. What a weekend it was, though, because we haven't had a chance to talk since it happened. But obviously, the Friday event at the CP was awesome.
Yeah, that was
cool.
a crazy
we all got to
turnout.
Meet a ton of listeners.
Yes,
and
that was really fun.
That was awesome.
From all over Ohio.
Oh man, everywhere.
Yeah,
it was cool. And then obviously Saturday at Indigo was a lot of fun, and I got a chance to see more people and people that we see every year, which is great to reconvene and celebrate. And then obviously the game itself was incredible. It didn't stop the whole week. It was good. You had football on Sunday. You
got a great hug from your dad in
Did you get one?
CP.
He
kissed me on the head.
Oh,
he didn't. He
nice.
kissed me on the head twice. He did it Indigo and at CP.
He get a mouthful.
Head invites being
Oh, it
kissed.
does.
Yeah,
It does.
People are like, I got to kiss it.
He'd get a mouthful of gel if he kissed my hand.
Oh, yeah. Probably why I just gave you a hug.
Yeah,
that's right.
He was, hey,
Smart
fellas,
guy.
he was in a great mood. So
Good.
I sat with Dad, brought both boys.
Is he happy with his new seats and
Loves his
everything?
new seats, loves everything about it. There was a little small contingent of Alabama fans to our right, a row below, that for whatever reason, even at 24-7, felt the need to turn around and yell at Florida State fans. So it was rather bizarre.
Yeah.
I was amused. I mean, I don't get into that shenanigans anymore, but I was just kind of looking over like, really? You're down 24-7.
Good thing is they probably beat the traffic maybe when they
Yeah,
left
they
That
before.
had a
2-minute
chance to
warning.
get out of
They
there,
didn't get
yeah.
to see the dancing at the 2-minute warning because they were gone.
That would have really pissed them off.
Yeah, I bet.
It was
I bet.
also fun to watch for those kids. By
Man,
the
that
way.
was cool.
It was
That was
prolonged.
awesome.
It was a good long
little-
dance. It reminded me when we beat Miami 47-0. We danced before the kickoff.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
really lasted a long time for them to get to soak
It was funny
in.
because
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I went to the restroom for the 2-minute warning, so I missed it. And when I didn't see it. So when we get to we're interviewing Castellanos after the game, and he's like, "Yeah." And as far as that finish, we just got to learn to win with class. We got to learn to finish better and maybe not do some of that stuff, but we'll get better about it. We got to get that cleaned up or something like that. And I leaned over to Ira. I was like, "Was there a fight? Like, what is he
Did I
talking
miss
about?"
something there?
And he's like, "And you thought it was just the dancing part?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, "It was."
Yeah.
But I'm like, "Well, what? Shut up,
Well,
Tommy."
and it wasn't. And
You weren't here last year, Tommy. Shut up.
I'm guessing some of the coaches made a comment because it wasn't. I don't think it was the defensive coaches because the defensive players because I put a video on Twitter on the Warchant account of them doing it on the sideline.
The
But I
game
think-
was over.
Well,
Literally, the game was over.
but
They
were
couldn't get
also
the
on
ball back.
I know, but they were over there on the sideline.
yeah,
the
on the
offense was
field.
on the
Yeah.
field.
Don't care.
Probably about 10 feet away from the Alabama bench
Yes.
doing it. So I think that might have been.
Back in the dynasty days when they had just scored a touchdown to put the game away, as they're waiting to get the signal to kick off, the whole kickoff unit would just start swaying back and forth and dancing.
Yes.
In the middle of the field.
Oh, yeah.
Bowden was cool with it. If Bobby Bowden was cool with it, Tommy
You got it.
Castellanos could be cool with it. That's all I'm saying, Ira. And Mike Norvell. But yeah, I get it. But I wouldn't say they didn't win with class.
No, they definitely did.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was all
Darian
fun.
has contributed to the show, guys. Let's
Thanks,
read
Darian.
what he has to say.
Thank you, man.
Started by saying, "Yay, sausage!"
Amen, brother.
Publix had a BOGO this week, he writes.
What?
Got hot and original for the kids. Perfect and gluten, MSG free, allergic to both, but registers takes out the trash. Kind of like we took out Bama. Go
That's right.
Knowles.
That's
There you go,
right.
Darian.
Another
Thanks,
SEC
you
dub.
know what, man? I did not know that.
You
I
didn't know about the
that we had
BOGO?
BOGO
I
going
like
on.
he's legitimately
I am.
pissed.
I'm thinking
For a
I'm
man
stopping
who
on the
has a
way
means
home.
by which to get it free.
You know,
That's
Hey.
nonsense.
doesn't mean I don't want a BOGO.
Right. Marco Santos writes, also, Bama got lucky in the turnover battle.
Yeah.
The score should have been worse with us not capitalizing on turnovers, and the punt hit the Bama player first, by the way.
You know, it's funny. I actually watched part of the game again that night, and the guy I was hanging out with pointed that out. I think he saw it in real time. And I was like, really? I didn't even know that was – I had no idea that was the case, but apparently it was. It is weird that nobody saw it. That the Lucas punt, an Alabama guy,
The
hit
one that
his
his
foot.
leg.
It hit him first?
His foot
We
before.
sure?
I mean,
It
it's
looks
like
like it.
right next to his foot, and
They
then
don't
it
review
kicks
it.
hard.
They did. I thought Castellanos got the first down before they had to go for it on 4th and 1, and
I knew-
nobody even buzzed down to review it.
Yeah. Review was
They
weird.
went tempo, though, too. So, right? Didn't they go
Measurements
tempo?
were
No,
also
they didn't?
weird.
I don't
No,
think so.
they didn't. And measurements were weird anyhow. Bama could be 3 yards
Yeah.
short. We need to measure that
Yeah.
one. Which
When was the
actually, I
last
was
time-
fine. I was like, well, yeah, go ahead and measure it. Give the crowd more
But
time
when
to
was
laugh.
the last time a college football game,
Brought out
any
the
football
sticks,
game,
brought out
had
the
two
sticks.
measurements in a game? They didn't do that once a month last
So
year.
I'm going to have to go back, and I'll take your word for it, Marcos. I rewatched the game first thing in the morning when I got up with a fine-tooth comb, took my notes, did all that I like to do after these kinds of games. I didn't see it hit his foot.
So I'm just telling you that.
I mean, I see the angle why you
and
might
a
think
bunch
that.
of people are saying it. Like, and like I said, that night, a buddy of mine was like, yeah, he goes, it hit his foot. And I was like, really? And I haven't gone back to Zapruder film it, but a bunch of people are saying the same thing.
They
So-
did get it right on the little ejection, the
Yeah.
targeting, though. They got that reviewed
They got
right,
that
so that
right.
was good. I didn't think they were because they didn't have a great angle where you could tell
He
for
missed.
sure he missed. Like
Yeah.
for sure he missed. And Ryan Williams was laying there knocked out. It's like, well, but he knocked himself out on the ground.
Yeah, I think his helmet hit the ground. The other thing with
But I'm
Ryan,
glad they realized that.
I'll tell you what, though, man, Ashlyn Barker, that hit on Ryan Williams, I mean, that changed. I don't think their receivers and tight ends, I don't think really wanted to catch the ball.
Jeremy did.
He did. Five did.
Well, he was
Yeah,
wide
did.
open. It was a lot of fun for
Jeremy
him.
did. He was
Yeah.
a player now.
But a lot of
He
because
can
some of
play
the
for
plays,
Florida State.
because listen, we can
That's what
talk.
I said on Saturday.
We can talk about how good the defense was, and it was really good. But there were some plays where they could have gotten some yards, but like their tight end would fall down after he caught it,
Yeah,
or the
for
receiver.
no
would-
reason.
Yeah, I just feel like there was a little trepidation when they caught the ball because
Can
of the
I
way
just
they
say,
hit. The way they
you
hit.
just got me thinking about this. Man, I love it because we do, all football players do, and you get caught up in it, so it's not just exclusive to us. But guys forget that it's perfectly okay to grab a bitch when you're beat.
Oh, yeah.
Great
And
play by Edwin
how
Joseph.
about that,
Great
man?
play
My
by Edwin
man,
Joseph.
It's a walk-in touchdown,
Yep.
and he knows it. And you end up holding him to a field goal.
Yep.
That is huge in that moment. And I'm watching it play out. my dad's seats are perfect for that. I'm looking at him like, oh no, it's going to be a touchdown. And then he grabs him. I go, you beautiful son of a bitch. Nobody ever does that. Just grab him.
And the exact opposite, again, is what we've seen at times, a lot of times, certainly last year, of just the dumb play of like trying to pick off that pass, and then it gets tipped to the guy, the receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, this team just played smart. I mean, and part of it's they got some older dudes who played a lot of football. Part of it is, they're just clearly well coached.
Well, so we began the show, and I think a lot of people are recalibrating. They're just getting back to work, and they're thinking about all that Saturday was and what it might mean. In my mind, we should not overcomplicate it. I think everything that happened for Florida State on that day, it will resonate no matter what Bama does. They go on and win a bunch of games, great. If they go on and lose, doesn't matter to me, because now Florida State knows they can play with anybody. That roster is talented regardless. All right, so Bama may not be a great team, but they are a very deep and talented roster. Here's the thing. For Florida State, now you begin to start to think about what that Miami game might look like and how important that might be, because while it's always important to us, it's a rivalry game. I think that when you look at what Miami is, and that's a good football team, almost let it slip away because they're poorly coached, but they are a good football team, and Carson Beck certainly looked like he looked good. Yeah. He looked healthy and good. So I know Miami and Florida play one another before Florida State gets the chance to play.
And they both play USF, too,
but
weirdly. Yeah, they did.
There is a chance. Imagine how uncomfortable that would be for ESPN and Kirk Herbstreit. There is a very good chance.
College game day, come on down.
Come on down. If Miami takes care of business and beats Florida, that's the game. There's not a bigger game on the ledger that week. Now listen, if Miami loses, then I think LSU and Florida, Texas, Florida. So that would be the problem.
The hard thing about this week right now, after week one, is just like we're sitting here wondering a little bit about Alabama. I don't think they're nearly as good as they thought they were, and I think there's a chance they could go off the cliff. There was a lot of similarities to 2024 Florida State. I
don't think they have the dude at quarterback either.
Not only do they not have the dude, but like they don't play hard.
There were some listless moments. Yeah.
So I think there could be real issues. They don't connect with Kalen DeBoer. I think that was a bad. In hindsight, that dude does not connect with those dudes. I don't think it's going to work.
Hey, they had a chance to get Norvell.
They did.
They blew it.
But the other thing is, when you look at that, you threw me off there with the Norvell thing.
Sorry. Well, they did.
But Miami and Notre Dame, Miami's defense looked awesome, I thought. But I also don't know if that Notre Dame quarterback was terrible.
Well,
but were they imposing their will, or is he just not very good?
He's really young, is what he is.
He is for sure.
He's really young.
But he also
played better later in the game. He got better.
Yeah, but Miami's defense looked really good,
without question.
But they also, Carson Beck, I want to pump the brakes a little bit there because they never had any game pressure on offense. Like, it was clear early on Notre Dame was never going to score until Miami screwed up.
Yeah, what I will maintain about Carson, even when he was at Georgia, if he gets any help from his receivers and he can keep them upright, I think he's a pretty good player. I think he's a very good player.
I'm not saying he's not good.
Right.
I'm just saying I don't know that he's great. And he looked pretty great at times in that game. But again, there was no pressure. I just thought the way that game played out.
Well, there was pressure there when Notre Dame started coming back, and Miami didn't do much with it. Like, he didn't do great with that. And then they got the sacks when they needed to. But it's a month away. Then we got some games in between that.
We've got warm up layups here, and it's fun to watch.
And I don't know that Virginia's a layup.
I'm talking about the next two.
Yeah, the next two absolutely.
I'm just talking about the next two
layups. Yeah,
and I am very curious. I mean, they matter. These games matter. We have a lot of personnel. 25 guys play on defense in this last game. That's cool to think about. You got a lot of young players on offense, or guys that are inexperienced in some ways. You want to see how they play this out over the next two games. I mean, how many reps? What's the backup quarterback situation like? We talk about, and Tommy is going to be a guy that in all the big games, that one we just finished, the game against Miami, the game against Clemson, and the one against Florida, is going to have to be the dude to run the ball 16 to 20 times. And he's going to have to be used in that way, but not the rest of them, not the others. Yeah. So how do they work that in? You're still trying to get good at this offense and run this offense with that tempo. I'd be very curious to see how they play it. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in just a moment.
Picture this. It's midnight and you're lying in bed, scrolling through this new website you found, hitting the add to cart button on that item you've been looking for. After 15 minutes, you decide you've done enough damage to your wallet and decide to check out. But you remember that your wallet or credit card is in the living room, and you don't want to get out of bed to go get it. Just as you're getting ready to abandon your cart, that's when you see it, that purple shop button. That shop button that has all of your payment and shipping information saved, saving you time while you stay warm in your bed. That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes everything easier, from checkout to creating your own storefront. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel and Seminole headlines to brands just getting started. Shopify gives you that leg up from day one with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand style and forget about all the code. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. Spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools to find and keep new customers. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/warchant. Go to shopify.com/warchant. Shopify.com/warchant.
It always looks so good, even in the summertime. How do you do it, neighbor? They're called Lawn Johns. They come once a week. Maybe you should give them a call so you can tell other people to stay off your lawn. How's that sound? Ooh, yes. I would love to tell people to stay off my lawn. For the very best in lawn care, call the Lawn Johns at 850-322-2567. Stay off my lawn.
Every life tells a story. At Cornerstone Memorials, we help you preserve that story with care, compassion, and craftsmanship. Whether it's a custom headstone, a beautiful monument, or a heartfelt inscription, our family is here to serve yours. Visit cornerstonememorials.org and discover how we've helped Tallahassee families honor their loved ones for over 50 years. Choose Cornerstone Memorials, because the memories of the ones we love deserve to last forever.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Be curious to see what you boys think about this one. Brock writes in, I was watching the game with my dad this past weekend, and a play that caught his eye, Jalen Lucas catch and run. He said Lucas runs a lot like Warwick Dunn. Well, he's little like Warwick Dunn, but I think he's much more speedy, quick twitch, maybe. And Warwick Dunn just seemed to glide. Like when I watched Warwick Dunn, he always knew how to avoid getting hit really hard.
He was very fast, but yes, it was it was a more of a glide,
longer strides, kind of even though he's a little guy. Yeah, I don't see it, but hey, that's fine. He reminds your dad of Warwick Dunn. Great, that's a good guy to be reminded of.
Good. I was going to say it's good to have guys that remind you of Warwick Dunn.
Yeah, that's true. But
those are good.
By the way, that play is so beautiful to watch get set up when he comes in motion. He's kind of sidecar, and then he goes. When you watch the replay and you go frame by frame, you see the realization, one from the linebacker that he screwed, but the safety can't get over, and he gets outrun. The fact that the far side safety has to come all the way across to make that play, man, Jalen Lucas is fast, kids. I mean, two guys had angles.
And he's the third fastest guy on the offense. I mean, Squirrel and Danzy are faster than him.
And he can go.
He can really go.
It's funny.
And he got the game-winning, the icing first down, too. Just beating guys to the corner, the Alabama guys to the corner to get the first down.
Yeah, you're not going to catch him to the corner. That's fun to watch. What's cool on the Micah Danzy play is, and it's so true when you watch track guys, they don't always look like they're running fast or hard, but they are. And then you see it when you slow it down, that right around, what is that, the 30, where that burst comes into play, where you look at where he is from one frame to the next in the stride, you kind of go, oh, geez, that had to have been sudden for those guys trying to make a tackle.
It's even like, the Kermit kickoff return. And I know that, like, people argue about whether or not the guy really pulled his hamstring. I still think it was loser's limp. I think he was embarrassed because he wasn't going to catch him.
Certainly wasn't.
And it's like those dudes, the angles don't make sense. Football players, and you can speak to this shit from when you were playing, like you know what it
Yeah,
where
you get a
you
sense.
know where you need to get to. You know where the spot should be.
It's a race to the spot, and then you got to get low.
Some dudes are so fast that the math doesn't math.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what do we do?
They used to tell people all the time, Eric Dickerson, remember the long strider that he was, NFL Hall of Fame running back. I know that's a reference that our audience.
He wore begoggled NFL running back.
Colts, Rams, you guys.
SMU,
go look
back
him
in the
up.
day.
He was amazing. Part of the Pony Express. Anyhow, that guy never looked like he was running hard, and nobody could ever catch him. And you would see guys take terrible angles, and you go, why? Like, well, he's deceptively really fast. It's absurd. And you're right. Like, that's when you see that, you go, oh, man, they didn't realize that Dalvin set people up like that all the time. Yeah. I mean, he would just stay inside on those outside zone plays, and you'd see him sort of slow, and then it, boom, shot out of a cannon, and guys would look like fools. Mike has obviously got that kind of elite speed where it's just silly. On Squirrel's catch on the 3rd and long on the throw, he just runs past the dude.
Run
it's
right
a
by
straight
him.
nine. He's not doing anything.
So much of it seemed just insulting. Like, Squirrel White's played in the SEC. He had 100 yards against Alabama a couple years ago. They acted like they were playing Portier.
He just ran past him.
And there was all the hype on that freshman corner.
No offense, Kentron.
Because I'm sure he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, sure.
But it's like, that's a tough matchup for a true freshman against a guy that's played 4 years of SEC football. I mean, it's in Squirrel White, and he's 6'4", whatever he weighs, trying to cover one of the fastest guys in college football. And Tommy, man, what an unbelievable throw. Again, because it's not open when he throws it. And there's
got to lead speed, baby.
It's a little bit of a low-risk throw because if he doesn't catch it, nobody's going to catch it. But, man, it was awesome. It was right on the money.
Lead speed. And the thing with that is I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, and I could be corrected by a Tennessee fan. How often did Tennessee split out Squirrel wide? I doubt it. I mean, he was pretty much a slot guy.
Yeah, a lot in slot.
Yeah, he was almost always in the slot. So when you got a guy way out on the edge like that, and it's mano-a-mano with no safety help, and it's just I'm going to run right past you, that's a toughie.
Yeah.
If you're a corner and you got to flip your hips and run, that ain't easy against a guy that fast. And clearly, Tommy knows enough to lead him. So.
How much did y'all like that as soon as the game was over, that the FSU Twitter and just the FSU fan base, it just switched back to 2023, 2013. Like, it didn't take long at all. Started making fun of all the prognosticators. But I kind of get it. Like, again, this is kind of it wasn't the argument I was making because we weren't having an argument last week. But when I was talking about Florida State didn't go away. Like, they had a horrible year, but like I said, they weren't off the reservation. They were just down the well. And then I was just reading it during the break. McMurphy, when he was doing his playoff projections, has Florida State in the playoff projections.
Andy Staples does too.
But he also said, welcome back, old friend Florida State. It's like, man, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, dude, I hate it, but 2 and 10 was the problem.
Right, but yes, right. Correct. But like we act like they've been horrible for a long time, and they weren't. They were horrible enough in one season to make it feel like it was 4 seasons.
And going back to the Georgia game,
but it was one season.
Yeah, no, I agree. But it's been 20 months of looking like one of the worst. They were one of the worst football programs in the country.
Oh yeah, but things can change, and as we saw, and it's just, I think moving forward when it comes to college football prognostication in August, it's just going to be impossible.
I think
it's just going to be impossible.
I was on a show this morning, and they were talking about, is Florida State going to be kind of the norm now? I said, well, for people who traffic in the portal as much as Florida State does, that kind of, volatility can exist, I think.
Not
I think
to these extremes.
Right, but I think volatility in college football is the new norm. And I do think more and more people will say, well, wait a minute, I don't know. How many portal guys did they bring in and how many of them are starting? If the answer is something like 11 of the 22 or, God forbid, 18 of the 22, you will then, from this point forward, as a prognosticator, go, I don't know.
Right.
Maybe they make it work. Maybe they do. Or maybe it's an unmitigated disaster.
Yes.
Either could be true. Did the kids buy in? And you won't know till you see them play. So there's that. Yeah, I do think that kind of volatility is the new norm in college football. Maybe not the outlier that Florida State was at 2-10, but I do think you can see extreme shifts with programs. I think you probably at some point, obviously we've talked about this too, want to start moving away from having to rely too heavily on the portal. But for teams who do in any given year, you're going to go, I don't know.
But it was just odd that, Florida State made some enormous improvements. Well, we know that now, but we thought they had anyway. They reloaded the roster. They basically restocked the roster and brought in some really good coaches.
I mean, just think about our predictions. I mean, I had it as like a 6-point game. Based on what we saw last year,
I would have had 40. If they played Alabama in November last year, I would have taken Alabama minus 35 points.
Sure.
And then, but then you look on the bottom line all week when they're doing the matchup, number 8 Alabama, Florida State, minus 13.5. FPI percent chance for Alabama to win was 91%.
Yeah.
Clemson, Troy this weekend. Clemson's a 33-point favorite. Their FPI percentage chance to win is 92%.
Right.
Where are you getting this from? Why would you think that it's an automatic
it's a made up thing?
But that's why we were laughing at it when the FPI came out during the summer, because it's like, what are you basing this on?
No,
then you'd have some people going, oh, well, the FPI last year, it actually predicted a lot of the conference. Whatever, man.
Okay.
There's no way you could know. How could you possibly know when you're going to have 16, 18
and
new
you have
starters?
40 new players on your team?
You can't certainly, not only can you not know, but you can't say that it's a 92% chance of anything. What does that even mean?
Nothing.
We haven't seen a single snap from this team. I was wrong. I picked Alabama to win the game. I thought they would win 31-17. Turned out, flip it. I had it wrong. And I'm glad to be wrong. Really glad to be wrong. I thought that the only thing with certainty that I could guess was that Alabama's roster was deeper and more talented. I still think it might be. It doesn't matter because you got to play the games. And Florida State played a really good game, and they cared to be there, and they out-hit Alabama.
And I think Florida State's better coached.
Yeah, well, certainly
it seems to be. Yeah.
It appears to be.
And I will say, listen, I think like a lot of things aren't always as good as they look. Things aren't always bad as they look. That game
I got something that's as good as it looks. Sorry.
That game could not have played. That game could not have.
Dude is in his 50s.
Yeah. He is. That game could not have played out more perfectly for Florida State than it did. I mean, like you could, if you went to Mike Norvell and said, okay, what do you need to work out the way it's going to work out for you to have the best chance?
Right.
Like all of those things worked. They didn't have, knock on wood, they didn't really have major injuries. They didn't have any issues on the offensive line with that.
They also got to respond early.
They didn't
response.
They did, but they didn't have to play from behind.
Yeah.
They didn't get behind the chains. Now, part of that's because of the play calling and the execution to keep you ahead of the chains.
Sure.
But they need that to happen. Like you didn't have Tommy in a lot of 2nd and 13s. If you do you get the Tommy who throws the ball up for grabs? That's none of those things came into play.
I want to ask Jeff, because your senior year of high school, you played with a ridiculously athletic quarterback.
I think the most athletic quarterback you could argue that year in the country, and I wouldn't know that because I don't know what other high schools look like. I just know where he was drafted.
And he went to Notre Dame to play defensive back.
He went to Notre Dame, started as a freshman as a defensive back, became an All-American, and was drafted 13th overall in the first round.
Yeah.
Yes.
So but my point is, you guys had a bad year the year before.
2-8.
And then you have him at quarterback.
Went 10-0.
And he's not, I'm sure he wasn't slicing and dicing defenses with his arms necessarily, his arm all the time. But the confidence you must have in having an athlete like that and a competitor like that. It's 3rd and 6. Castellanos squirts and dives for 7 yards. That kind of stuff. I just think it can permeate an entire roster. And as Ira alluded to, I'm gonna blow your spot here. I was a group text. You didn't say it for the masses, but it sure seems like this quarterback enjoys playing football.
Yeah.
Maybe the one that started last year wasn't as enjoyable. And I just think he's one player. Why would he affect the defense? But he does.
Well,
doesn't he? Doesn't he just
it changes
impact
math, first of all, but secondly,
I mean just the personality of a team, the belief of a team to have an athlete like that you think can go get you a first down or go get you some points.
There's at least, and I have to go back. I'd love to see the all-22s. I can't right now, but I'm trying to find a way. But I would just say this: there's at least 4 sacks that he avoids, and doesn't just avoid. He makes a play.
Yeah, and then he gets hit out of bounds.
9 yards, 12 yards. It's like it's so demoralizing to chase around a guy who's that athletic.
But it's so uplifting for a team and a roster. That's what I was asking. Like, I just feel like they're going to believe in this guy.
Oh, there were times, really quick, and it's about this team now. But there were times where, I remember on offense thinking, well, just roll Tommy out and let him make a decision because ain't nobody going to catch him. Right. I mean, it was just that's how good he was. And I mean my Tommy from back in high school, but this one too.
You didn't name your quarterback in high school.
Tommy Carter.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah. So that's my bad. I should have said that too. But Tommy Carter, who played at
but no, the run he had where he goes to the wide side and the linebackers got him, and he's like literally, okay, you probably have the angle, so let me just go 5 yards deeper and see if you can catch me.
And you could.
And there's just nothing.
What's interesting, to your point, and we're having a lot of fun after a great win, and we should. I am interested to see, one of the reasons Tommy's quarterback rating wasn't very good, despite the fact that he didn't turn the ball over last year.
Sacks.
ridiculous sacks, by the way, and a lot of them were of great distance.
Yes, yeah, well, because he knows he can run back. And,
right,
yeah.
But when you have that kind of athleticism, you can get yourself in trouble believing in that all the time. It's great when it works out. It's unbelievable, and it's frustrating for a defense, but it can spiral. And, I think that Mike would tell you and Tommy would tell you, and I'm sure Gus would too, they're going to have to get the ball out on time a little bit more as the season goes on in the pass game. Yeah. That first play to Jaden Boggs, he's got to catch the ball. But the bottom was that's really late. If he leads him early when he sees it, he may score. And so things like that. But that's the beauty is you get to say, hey,
it was a season opener. Yeah,
we got a lot of work. We got a lot of work to do. The timing can be better here, and I think that's what it is. But that's been his MO, right? I mean, he's an electrifying athlete. He's an okay passer. Sometimes he makes throws that you go, there it is. Other times you're like, you're late and behind there. It's going to be interesting.
And the other thing with Gus as a play caller and as a game planner, that again, man, it's working out exactly like you'd hoped. And like I said, on the defensive side, we were hoping that Tony White would get guys to play hard because they wasn't happening with a former DC. With Gus, the hope was that if he's just focused on being an OC and not having to worry about the roster and managing everybody else and doing all the other
talking
things,
to media,
that exactly his favorite thing to do, that he could, man, he might be the old Gus as a play caller. And he actually talked about it yesterday. He did an interview with Brandon Marcello from CBS, and he said he forgot how much fun it was and how much time you could devote to being a play caller and a game planner when that's your only job. And it's like, dude, if you're a Florida State fan, I mean, that's pretty freaking exciting.
Also, think about that moment, Castellanos' touchdown run, that first drive, where that shimmy he makes on that linebacker at that 5. Come on, man.
That little time.
And then just burst in the end zone right in front of Peter Warwick and Dalvin Cook. Okay, man, that's Florida State fans get to feel good again. That play in front of those dudes and the way they celebrated with him, that's a really cool
the Peter
full
Warwick
circle moment.
Yelling, and then seeing Dalvin, there's a couple different shots of it. I mean, how many Noles were like hanging in the loop?
Yeah, exactly.
It was so cool to see that. And just, by the way, that's another thing. Good job, Mike Norvell and crew. They've got these boys coming home. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of former greats.
Warwick Dunn was there.
A lot of former greats were in town. Not everybody was down on the sideline either. They were up in the boxes. That people wanted to see it.
And that's so big for recruiting.
Yes.
Because, again, you got not only are you playing well, you got a great environment, but they're seeing that the Dalvin Cooks come back. You got Jalen Ramsey tweeting about FSU football again.
Tweeting about Earl Little.
But there were people coming back that you would have never. I mean, the fact that Jaheim Bell was back. I mean, there were people that we were like, really? You're back? Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Well, he did just get cut.
I'm just saying, though, to come back, he could be anywhere.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
He didn't come back for a free meal.
And he was only here for a year.
Can I stay in Burt? Oh, no, we tore down Burt.
I mean, it's pretty cool to see how many people came back. Francois was here. I mean,
you can make an argument it was because they're playing Alabama, but it's still awesome.
They were here.
Yeah. They'll be here for Miami, too.
And they will be here for Miami as well. Hour number 2, headliner questions headed your way in just a moment. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
It's not just a drink, it's a vibe. Cool off all summer long with bold and beautiful cocktails from Café de Martín. Try the stunning berry champagne with flowers on top, a refreshing pineapple coconut margarita, and the all-new tamarindo sour, or our spicy cantadito. Available Tuesday through Friday for just $12.50. Take a trip to Peru this summer at Café de Martín in the Esposito Shopping Center. Online at cafedemartin.com.
From the team behind Mac and More Systems comes IOWise, Tallahassee's trusted source for IT services. Protect your business with 24/7 cybersecurity, managed IT support, cloud storage solutions, network design, voice over IP phone systems, expert tech counseling, and more. Whether your business is growing fast or just getting started, IOWise keeps your systems running smoothly and securely. Local service, big solutions. Visit iowise.com today and work wiser with IOWise.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
Here's the cold, hard truth. Your body needs more than you're giving it to stay healthy. And now it's easier than ever with Vigor, the all-new cold plunge tub from Hot Spring Spas. Available only at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Cold plunges reduce muscle soreness, boost mood, improve sleep, and so much more. It's not just a trend, it's science-backed wellness. And now you can have it in your own home. Ready to feel alive again? Pinch a Penny has the exclusive home use solution. Visit us on Capitol Circle Northeast and take the plunge.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel-tip boards and soft-tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. You're listening to Seminole Headlines with Ira, Corey, and Jeff. Stay tuned for more headlines coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Braves and Cubs today at Wrigley Field. Shota Imanaga for the Cubs, $1.82 favorite over Joey Wentz to the Braves, plus 149. Rays and Mariners at Steinbrenner Field, both teams minus 110 of the money line, 8 under the total. Jaguars bet up to a 3.5-point favorite over the Carolina Panthers on Sunday at Everbank Stadium in the season opener, 46.5 the total. Trevor Lawrence over under 239.5 passing yards, 1.5 touchdowns, shaded to the under. Florida Gators 18.5-point favorites at home at South Florida at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium Saturday, where the total is 54.5. Score $500 in rewards at the GBank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at vsin.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
That leaf pile is 100 feet tall. Your dad can't handle this. Not without the right equipment.
Yard work piling up? Gear up for fall with John Deere. Get $750 off select mowers, $2,000 off select Gator UVs, and $3,000 off select compact tractors.
Did I hear your dad got a John Deere? Yep, bad day to be a leaf pile.
Gear up for fall at an authorized John Deere dealer now through September 30th. Learn more at johndeere.com/gearupforfall.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
This time of year, we enjoy spending time outdoors in this beautiful North Florida climate until the mosquito attack begins.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control can help you take your yard back. We have an affordable program to help keep mosquitoes away, and our program even helps with other pests like ticks.
Mosquitoes are a nuisance to you, and by carrying diseases such as heartworms, they can be harmful to your pets.
Learn more about how Paul's can help protect you, your family, and your pets from mosquitoes. For the elimination of termites, pests like mosquitoes,
and a greener lawn too,
call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Do you want to take your yard back by having a green and pest-free lawn?
At Paul's, we understand the unique needs of your North Florida lawn, which is why we developed a program to address those concerns.
Our treatment program includes inspection, treatment, and education on best practices for optimized results for remaining environmentally conscious. An added benefit is that our lawn treatment is flea suppression, so having a greener lawn can help protect your pets too. For a greener lawn and the elimination of fleas too,
call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
It's hour number 2. It's hour number 2. Hour 2. It's hour number 2. We gotta reset those standards.
That was like trying to start a motorcycle. It's like
with my riding mower.
Yeah. I was doing it against my will. Now it's only for championships. Now it's only saved for championships.
Guys, like you got your hour number 2, but I don't know that was the full-throated hour.
It got there.
It was about a 90.
Yeah.
Herb Hand said today that when he's coaching guys and they ask him to do something that's maybe at the extent of their athletic ability, and then they do it, and he's like, "Oh, now you're screwed." Because I've seen you do it.
You can do it.
You can do it. So you got to.
It's like the Gunnar Hansen block.
Exactly.
That's the one.
So we've heard it now, man.
I know it's in here. It's just a matter of when I unleash it.
Well.
Sometimes Axel's not singing "Sweet November Rain" like he needs to.
Well, he can't sing
I know
anything
he can't
anymore.
Sing. He's done. He's screamed his vocal
better than
cords.
it was, I think. Somebody's trying to tell me it's better than it was.
Guys, again, Axl Rose was the lead singer of a band in the 80s, early 90s called Guns N' Roses.
Huge, biggest band in the world.
Have you seen the David Lee Roth clips?
Oh, those are bad.
Yeah,
That's
man.
rough.
Again, he's got to be 70-something years old.
Stop going out there, man. Why are they doing that? Man, stop wheeling these people
Unless
out
you're
there.
Bob Dylan, who's never been a great singer anyway,
Right,
just kind of mumbles through it anyway.
Man alive, you can't do it. It's Motley Crue too. It's all of them.
It's gonna be sad when we're sitting here. When we're sitting here in 30 years and Corey's doing.
Well, he just did it. Yeah. Birch Orthodontics is not going to be pleased with that effort from Corey. I can tell you that. But we should
not the
make
standard
mention.
she expects.
No, she holds the standard to be very high, and boy, was she happy on Saturday, as she should be, just as you would be if you got your kids' teeth fixed over there
look
at
at that.
Birch
Well
Orthodontics. Serving it up.
100% satisfactions. I'm convinced of it.
There's no upsets over there, though.
I
It's
haven't
not an
seen the
upset
data.
win.
No,
You're expecting it.
The
You're
chalk
going
always comes through over there.
Yeah.
You're not betting against the
No,
you're not
that
betting the
crew.
underdogs against Dr. Birch and her staff. Tremendous work. The latest Invisalign, all the different techniques that you have in orthodontic work, but also the tried and true, just the standard of fundamental good care, good customer service.
Yeah.
And again, they make it so easy. They again, one of the things I liked about our experience with our oldest daughter was it was a complicated case, and they calmed everybody down. There's a lot of anxiety, calmed everybody
Ira
down.
was screaming in the office.
Give her the shot. Give her the shot.
There was a lot of nerves going into that. And she just her and her staff are just awesome. They do such a good job with that. But then also they do offer the payment plans. They just everything you could ask for in an orthodontics office. So if you just think you might need orthodontic, go see Dr.
Maybe
Birch.
on a whim, just swing on in.
Swing in and see what's what.
Go talk about the Noles. BirchOrthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com is the website. And you should tell them you heard about them on the headlines because she loves us.
Hey, by the way, so Corey, you get requests like this now because, you were a sucker way back when and agreed to it. Right off the bat, Les here says, can we get Corey to belt out Keziah in the style of Toto's Rosanna after that touchdown?
So
our references are getting older and older. It's
No, but
impossible.
the problem
It is funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
No, I can't do it.
But you know why that was requested? Because you love to make up jingles on the
Yes,
run.
I
like
do, yeah.
Horizons you did with the Toto thing.
Horizons,
Yeah, see what I mean? So,
and it's right up your alley.
Keziah.
yeah, you're not on it today. You're going to let it go. It's not in there.
Every time you get the ball and you run to the end zone, it's Keziah.
I can't hear it.
You're welcome, Les.
Garrett says, Victory Tuesday. What do you guys think was the biggest play on Saturday? My vote was for that 4th down. Put it on the table at your own 34 and convert. Yeah.
So I did I jumped on the post-game show with Tom and Gene.
Yep.
And they were asking me what I thought.
You did?
Yeah.
When?
When I got to the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
Tom asked.
Right.
So, but Gene didn't love the call.
Oh, it was a great call.
I thought it was. I did too. I thought it was
the call to go for it's the right call. I didn't love the play but
the idea to go for it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Gene's point was like, man, there's a lot on the line if it goes wrong. And he's right.
And we're trying to win games out here, Gene.
If it doesn't go right, yeah, man, Norvell's going to get killed. But that was definitely the right call.
You're trying to establish an identity, too.
Also,
like
you've
you
been
got
able to run
1
the ball
yard.
all day.
Yeah.
You've been able to run the ball all day.
And you got 1 yard.
And to some degree, you're playing with house money.
Yeah, and also
there's nothing, I just don't
play
you
not
can't
to,
play not to
lose
when
against
you're
Alabama.
when you're a 2-touchdown underdog at home.
The other part about it is that, again, you had established the run and you were winning at the point of attack all day. So no, you can get a yard. And I actually think that, there are a lot of the 4th down bots that say yes in that situation, by the way. I know you don't follow that all the time, but in that situation, you can get a yard.
I also loved Herb Hand. He answered the question I didn't ask, but his answer was really enlightening because I asked about like when you use offensive linemen in unique ways, like the Gunnar Hansen, where he's got to change direction and
he sells the counter. It's amazing.
And I'm like, is that something that you see, you test it out in practice and see how well he sells it? Like, because not everybody could do that.
No.
And
for a big man to have feet like that, yeah.
And I go back to thinking like the things that Brian Stork could do at center.
Very different than what most centers
And then
could
the
do.
center that I can't remember who was originally that replaced him. Was it Barron or whoever
or
it was?
Hofield. Might have been Hofield.
Whoever it was. And they were trying to get him to do things Stork could do. And it's like, man, he can't do that.
Well, and Stork was previously a tight end. So
right, exactly. So he run it out to the second level. But anyway, but he thought I was asking about that play. And he goes, man, that play was determined in preseason camp. He's like, that's how we practice those short yardage runs. And if we didn't develop that in camp, you can't just do it against Alabama in a game.
Yeah.
And that gives you some confidence, I think, as a play caller to know, man,
well, this is what we do.
yard. Yeah.
The basis of
This
our
is
offense
who we are.
here. This is what, well, there's a toughness that's, again, this resonates with folks. I don't, that's one of my favorite plays because of the mentality, but I don't think it was the most important or biggest play. I think for Florida State, and it's going to sound odd because it's in the first quarter, but Alabama just takes the ball down the field and and holds the ball for nearly 9 minutes, whatever it is,
the squirrel catch.
And you're off a 2-10 season. Bama's heavily favored. They come into your house, they go down the field, they hold the ball forever. If you punt on that 3rd down, if you don't get that, man, who knows where this goes? And to answer it right back was a big damn deal.
And didn't Boggs already not come down with his catch?
Right. It was,
So it's just like, man, that now you have 2 of those happen where you've got shots and you don't come down with them and you start feeling, man, this is what Florida State does.
Yeah,
now.
because who knows? Maybe Bama goes up 14 and it's a different game and the mentality.
Yeah, well, the next time the quarterback went on the field, it was tied again.
And now it's my point about Tommy is like he didn't have to play from behind, just like Carson Beck didn't have to play from behind. So there's things we need to see. Again, like I thought late, and I mentioned this on the Smash last night, but there was in one of those empty possessions in the 3rd quarter when they could have really blown the game open. Tommy was a little frustrated. He was frustrated with somebody on the line. He was frustrated with the tight end. And like as coming off the field, he was voicing it, not in a bad way. It wasn't like he was
they were having a conversation.
But he was kind of animated about it. Well, that was with a lead. Like if you're down 14-0 and somebody runs the wrong route, is he losing his mind on them? So, I mean, that's the stuff we have not seen yet. That's all I'm saying.
That's the play where he and Biscuit are not on the same page, and I still don't know who's right, actually, on that play, because when I went back and rewatched it, I was looking for –
He was trying to tell Biscuit that he was supposed to run deeper, but that's still – there was no way. That's not where he threw it.
Also, their frustration might have been, why aren't we going for it? Let's go. We don't need a punt from their 40 when we're up by 14 points.
Yeah, I think that was on Tommy there on that play. I don't think that was Biscuit's fault, but I don't know. I don't know the play call, so it's tough to know. All right, so great win, but for the next 2 games, can we pay these teams a little extra if they'll just help us out with our punt return game?
Yeah,
not sure
smart.
why that's always such an adventure. That's from New Hampshire Seminoles. So, that
Alabama kid punt hit, I guess he only caught one or two, but he caught it pretty.
Look,
he looked confident,
America,
comfortable
Corey,
doing it.
all over America, watch any given Saturday, people are able to come up and catch a punt. I'm to the point where I just want to say, look, man, we don't even need you to return it.
Well, that's
I just catch the effing ball.
All right, I'm going to share my theory.
Please do.
I just think, and because I thought this before Keon, but then Keon happened.
Well, he was good at it.
And so
he was an athlete.
All right. I think there's something in the messaging from Norvell and JP, John Papuchis, the special teams coordinator, about being careful, because I just feel like there's too much
trepidation.
Yeah, man. They don't see you because you see other punt returners who are like snatching the ball. They're just, I mean, it's just, there's
or
a
running
calmness
forward
to go get it.
You know, here,
Because
I want you to finish your point, but I do want to say this. It's almost like they don't stress to these guys, you know, that they're not allowed to hit you when you call for a fair catch. If they do, it's a penalty on them. So go catch the effing ball. They're going to fake like they're hitting you. That's their job, but they're not going to hit you.
It feels like the last, and I'll throw David Johnson there too, because I think he handles the punt return specifically. But it's like it's like when they're running on the field, you know, like when you guys coach your kids, or when you're a parent at your kids' games,
you're saying don't fumble.
And you're like, don't take strikes down the middle, or don't whatever. And it's like, I feel like they're saying, remember,
don't
be
fumble.
safe.
Yeah.
Like don't take any chances you don't need to take.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like going back to the returners before Keon and then the returners since. It's uncanny.
It's really frustrating because
Keon they could say whatever they wanted. Keon's going to catch the ball.
He's going to catch the ball, and he's going to look like a badass doing it because it didn't even look difficult for him at all. He's just kind of like, I mean, it was silly. I don't know, because Lucas is an athlete, and you know he was an all-world kick returner.
That's what I was going to say. That part
yeah.
kind of had me raise my eyebrows too. They didn't have him as the main kick returner. They had him as main punt returner. But when you look at him in Indiana, and then when we watched him practice last year, I didn't think he looked supernatural catching punts at practice last year. It's weird to me that that's the job he wanted.
Well, do you think that's why we were hearing that Deuce was back there catching punts?
Well,
that he probably
I think
catch the ball?
Well, then they clarified. Deuce is going to be more like Papuch is clarified. He'll be more if it's going to be a pooch punt inside the 10. They like Deuce because he can catch it up here and not have to worry about traffic.
People around his, you know.
But
find somebody on this team. I guarantee you, there's somebody on this team that can catch a punt.
Luane McCoy, when he gets healthy, maybe.
It's just you're right. Uncanny is the word. It's incredible, really.
Hyperbolic Noel. This is a fitting descriptor here for the question. What would it take for TC to get an invitation to New York City?
A couple, big wins on Miami. Big wins over
Clemson
Miami
on the road,
and at Clemson.
Yeah.
Hey,
and have some crazy
all that crap's
plays.
on the table now.
Yeah.
All that crap's on the table now. I said it all off season that I didn't think there was a chance they're going to win at Clemson. There's definitely a chance they're winning at Clemson.
Yeah, they could. I mean, I'm not going to discount their opportunities to win games. I would be surprised if Tommy's in contention for the Heisman. Is all I'm saying. What's implied in that question?
He's getting my vote ahead of Arch Manning right now. I'll tell you that much.
Well, here's the thing, dude.
He's ahead of Arch Manning.
If he can stay healthy, Gus is going to put him in positions to make plays.
Yes,
I'm all in with Gus, and I just believe that.
But here's the
he's
problem,
going to have
Ira.
a really nice
I agree
year.
with you on that, but they're not going to run him to death in these other games.
No,
yeah, he's not going to. His numbers won't
amass.
be. His numbers won't be.
That's when he beefs up the passing numbers.
That's what. They get some passing touchdowns this week.
Dad Guy's asking a question that I think people will think about regarding at least one of the coordinators. I don't think it's necessarily applicable to Gus, but here's his question. Do we have concerns North Carolina may try to go hire Gus Malzahn or Tony White? Let's just apply the general question. If Tony White gets this defense to be this much better, like what we just saw, I mean, he's going to go be a head coach somewhere at the end of this year. Yeah, in all likelihood. And I am concerned about that.
I will say this, though. They are paying him $2 million.
Which is nice.
So
what opportunities are going to come open?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably not going to get a power. Probably not getting a power four. I mean, he might. We'll see. But you know, and they would probably if this is what he does, would they not go up to 2.5? Would they not go up to 2.7 if they had to? And then is he getting a job where he's getting 5? You know, we'll see. I mean, I agree with you. It's more likely that he's gone. Gus is the more interesting question to me because I think he realizes. I thought when he took the job that part of his idea was come back here, kick ass, because
a couple of years go be a head coach
and then go be a head coach one last time. But now that he sees how good he can do when he's just the OC, I wonder if that is attractive.
Man, you would have to be able to get inside a guy's head,
right?
Because you don't know. I mean, you don't know if he's not all of a sudden empowered again. Listen, he was beleaguered at the end of his time at UCF. There's some people who thought he might get fired. So it's kind of curious to see like how quickly he'd want to jump back into that fire. Does he view it the way that you're viewing it, which is, hey, man, this is awesome. I don't have to worry about any of that other stuff at all. I just call plays. I used to say this all the time about Jimbo, man. Like, Jimbo, why wouldn't you go be an NFL offensive coordinator? These guys are employees.
And they all snap the ball with one on the play clock.
And oh, by the way, you only have to run 60 plays a game.
It's a dream. It's a dream.
And listen, you can stay all day at the facility to get them to understand it. And they're paid millions to shut up and listen. It's like, I used to think that all the time, but I don't know. We'll see how empowered he feels about this. Fellas, we deserve this after the hell we went through since December the 3rd, 23.
Yep.
Corey, I suggest when Chroma has a breakout game, you title it Secret of the Ooze. And does Chroma's size remind anybody else of Peterson at OU or McFadden at Arkansas? Hopefully he's as good. Thanks for all you guys do. Thank you, Panama Noel. Listen.
That was an impressive, that first down run he had, the 13-yarders.
Yeah,
come on, that jump cut.
That's
and
a
then
big boy right
just
there, man.
trucking
He is
folks.
a big kid, man.
I want to see him at full speed, which you hope you get to see him in the next, and I mean like out in the open. Like you hope you get to see him in one of these next two games. I want to see what that looks like because he is a big son of a gun.
I can't remember if I said this last week or not. I don't think I did. It was when Aslan and I were out at campus last week doing kind of educating the students on how they can get a free subscription to warchant.com if they use their FSU EDU account and email. Oh, we got the promo code. Tom is all over it, or Nick, whoever it is. If you go to if you email support@warchant.com if you're an FSU student from your FSU email account,
and the QR code if you're watching right now.
The QR code takes you to the website, I think. But email support@warchant.com and they'll get you a free subscription to Warchant. We were telling the students
which is
about
crazy. Y'all all should be
deal.
taking advantage of that.
But while we were there, I talked to somebody who has been, Aslan and I talked to somebody who's been in a lot of practices, somebody in the university community, and they said the way they described Usman Chroma was KB like, Kelvin Benjamin like, in the sense of what his body is at that position. And I was like, you know what? It's not a terrible comparison because, KB was just he dwarfed the DBs. And Chroma, I mean, dude, he is Adrian Peterson's a good one. I mean, it's different.
I think he's going to be better than Adrian Peterson.
Easily. Oh, that's a given.
That's his floor.
But dude, I mean, I think I could see him running for 130 this week.
Yeah, man. And he looked to me like the best guy they had. Now, Sawchuk had a great run, but Chroma, again, we need to put it in perspective with the Desir twins too. To do what they did, even in small, samples against Alabama in their first game as true freshmen, man, that there is a chance the Desir twins, Chroma, Boggs, they might all be superstars. We don't know. I mean, I'm not predicting that for all of them, but when you're able to play a lot against Alabama and your coaches trust you, good coaches trust you to be on the field, that means your trajectory is off the map.
They were just as excited to see Kevin Wynn do the same thing. He just got banged up, so he wasn't available.
Well, and the fact that that's the first class in a while where they got it right with so many guys seemingly already, that tells you, like, well, if that carries over to Wynn, how great is he going to be? And, they all talked about how strong he was already as a freshman. So, yeah, I could absolutely. I see in the chat we had a donation here. Let's get to it. Justin says, I believe if Earl Little Jr. stays healthy and continues this style of play, he'll be first team all ACC, potentially a first rounder. Go Noles from Alabama. Oh, Justin, enjoy your time in Alabama.
Yeah, man. Tell him what's up.
After that win. Yeah, go to the gym.
The ghost of Xavier Lee all over again.
Nice.
Thanks, Justin.
Listen, this defense is perfectly suited for him. They use him properly here. We had heard that. We weren't at practice, but every day at practice, it seems like he got mentioned afterwards. And then you see it on display. He's not afraid. He loves to hit. He's quick to the ball. He triggers. He's relentless. The defense caters to that skill set. He's allowed to just, as the position would imply, rove about and hit people. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And the funny thing is when you talk to people, within the program, they're like, yeah, man, he was doing that to our receivers.
Yeah, man.
Like in camp.
He's wired a certain way. This is not just, I'm playing for Tony White. He stood out last year when he finally got to play because he looked different than everybody else and he hit them. And again, this is kind of an indictment on Norvell, and I'm not trying to do that because we're all happy now. But how in the world did Mekhi Danzy only have 2 touches at all last year? And
I was mad about that last year.
Davis had 60. And how did it take Earl? How did Earl Little not? What part of seeing that is like we can't use that?
The fog of war, brother.
But it's like I get he doesn't. He's not in control of the defense. But at some point you got to be like, I don't care, Adam. That guy's playing. No, I'm tired of watching this. I want Earl Little on the field, and I want Mekhi Danzy, and that's on Norvell because he's calling shots.
The only thing
get the ball to Danzy.
The only thing we don't know about Earl Little, and I'm just trying to be fair here, is he can't. Coming out of high school, a lot of people thought he was a corner.
Yeah,
and so he may have wanted to play nickel corner. Like he may have wanted.
Maybe that's why he came here.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
So
And finally, it took a
Well,
while
he
for
got
him to be
dinged up
convinced.
a little bit
Yeah,
too,
and he was banged up at Alabama.
Come on,
too.
man. That guy, Jalen Ramsey's saying, now that's how a Florida State safety's supposed to play. It's like, yeah.
Stanford Samuels tweeted, I've got my new favorite defensive back.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, and he's around every play. By the way, the play before the touchdown, that hit on the sideline. Woo!
Also, something
destroys him.
man.
Also, the cool thing about that kid is it was during the summer. Shaheem Brown, I think, put out this Instagram of Earl Little. They're at College Town. A bunch of the guys are in College Town hanging out. And I guess Earl Little's apartment is in one of those high rises in College Town. And they see Earl Little running on a treadmill at like 10 or 11 at night while they're all out kind of hanging around in College Town. And they filmed it and put it out. And they're like, this man, we worked out twice today. And he's up here at 10 or 11
I
at
wonder
night.
if Shaheem has a little self-reflection about the juxtaposition.
I'm happy for Shaheem, man. I'm not letting you bring him down. He got to play,
He
man.
did. But, I mean, that is a different –
yeah,
I feel like that's he's a LaMarcus type just football freak. Like football just gym
Obsessed,
rat.
right?
Just a gym rat.
Well, hopefully so. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. More of your questions in just a moment.
Injured? Call Basic Brooks and come back stronger. Offices, Tallahassee.
Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, got to get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those dark leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Barry knows school. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows school. You can put him to the test. Barry knows heating and air conditioning. Keeping you comfortable. Is what Barry does best.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Barry knows heating and air conditioning.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Your body is a masterpiece designed to heal itself from within. Learn how to maximize your health by tuning in to Phenomenal Health with me, Dr. Ryan Finn. Saturdays at 2:30. Experience true health today and call Finn Chiropractic at 386-7700.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
What was more fun, watching Luke Pettibone pre-snap or seeing Ashland Barker hit Ryan Williams so hard he didn't want to play football anymore? That's from Royce.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ashland Barker. But, man, talking to Herb Hand again today about Luke Pettibone, he loves that kid.
Well, he was good.
So much.
He was really good in this game, and we kind of thought he would be good, right? Everybody, seemingly we saw his career at Wake, and then what he did here in practice, you'd hear about, you know,
and it's not obviously when you watch it, novices like me, when you're watching offensive line play, it's not something you're going to be able to know. He's not going to be like driving people into the dirt necessarily. That's not when we say he played well.
Right, identifying.
Yeah, he's identifying and then getting everybody. As Herb Hand said, even when you're wrong, you're right. If everybody hears the call and does the same thing together, you're all doing it as one instead of three guys doing three different things, which is obviously what's happened here a bit. So that his value to this football team almost can't be overstated.
Immeasurable.
Yeah. Almost can't be overstated. Immeasurable is a great way to state it.
That's why I did it.
So you kind of
he jumped right in.
Yeah, it wasn't an overstatement though. It's immeasurable. That might actually be an overstatement. You couldn't measure it.
Trick Knoll says, "Who saw Gus celebrate that first touchdown like he was prime Tiger Woods draining a long putt at Augusta?"
I didn't see the one, the Tommy one, the Danzy one. He did the straight up uppercut running down the sideline, probably saying boom as he did it too.
Trick Knoll says, unexpected, but I liked it. Stadium renovation criticism is silenced. Norvell created a new and good problem for himself after that game. W's and L's expectations. Not sure that 7-5 is good enough now.
No, that's definitely fair to say.
That is fair to say, and it's a good problem if you want to call it that. Trailer Swift, gents, guess we're all doing well. The Desir twins giving Proctor hell was not on my $25 bingo card. Anyway, do you think Norvell is willing to throw a life preserver and drop a ladder? I want to go back on board now.
Yeah, don't be a fan later. You blew it.
It's and man, the Proctor, they may have forced him to be in college another year with that game. Because, I mean,
weird.
He did not play well. They had a lot of, different guys. Stephon Thompson.
6 hurries against him specifically. Yeah. That was surprising.
It was almost like they went at him a little bit.
6 hurries and 2 sacks against him specifically. That's probably not what any of us expected. I know Tom brought up the fact that they had talked to somebody, or he had talked to somebody over there covering Bama, that there were concerns about his overall investment, that he was a little out of shape.
Yeah.
Like this is a money year and a guy who's projected to go first round. How are you not ready to go?
I do think they have problems over there. I think that it's not working clearly. And I don't think it was a one-time. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Florida State, but
that's the hard part, right? Because there is a reason to suspect things aren't working well there right now. And yet if you do it out loud, you're taking away from Florida State's performance on Saturday by saying, look, Alabama's dysfunctional, everybody.
Well, but what I would say is this, like if you go back to when things started falling apart under Jimbo, they still had games where they played well.
Yeah, and they still had talent.
And they still had because they had so much talent.
Right.
And teams would maybe back down and then they could steamroll them. But when they got punched in the mouth,
they didn't know how to.
They didn't handle it as well. And I think that may be who Alabama. Alabama may come back out and boat race some average teams. But if you're hang with them and you punch them in the mouth, I don't know that this team under that coaching staff is going to get it done.
Jared writes, how much does Saturday's game open the door for all of us to entertain the idea that 2024 was just an anomaly? Well, we were talking about this earlier. We do think that the volatility in the game has never been greater because of the open door policy to come and go as you please, and because everybody now pays players.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah. I mean, it may be an anomaly in the sense that they went 2-10, which is kind of crazy. But I do think that
there will be dips, there will be ebbs and flows.
Right.
Every program's going to have them.
Well, and again, to your point, that dip was outrageous. That should never happen again. It was, but I think it was a unique situation because you had for whatever reason, we carried the expectations from 2023 into 2024, assuming they were going to be great again. So they believe they're going to be great again. And the coaching staff was talking about their size and the strength and all that and speed. And then when you start losing, it's just the bottom completely fell out. I don't think most teams are going to have that. Most teams aren't going to come in with those kinds of expectations. And so it was a unique situation. It was a perfect storm.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what teams do. I mean, we're going to watch Alabama closely because not just because it could affect the way that people view Florida State's win and their overall schedule strength and whatever else, but you wonder in the modern era of, especially this year in particular, front-loading the money and then your dreams go up in smoke within 3 or 4 games. I mean, you may see a lot of walking around. I mean, a whole lot of not playing very hard.
Real quick, Glenn in the chat said that he still thinks DeBoer is one of the best coaches. And I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying it doesn't look like it's a good fit at Alabama.
And here's the thing. I don't believe that we said a year ago that Mike Norvell was a bad coach, but he was a coach that might need to be fired. Those are two different things. It can happen that way. We've watched coaches have great success in one place or have success over a series of years. Something goes wrong. It spirals. They can't win anymore. Do we think they don't know football? A lot of guys change the places that they're at or something happens that snowballs and you got to change and start new. Who knows? Like you said, communication issues, cultural issues. Who knows? I mean, DeBoer's not dumb. He's won everywhere he's ever been. Yeah. But it may not work out at Alabama.
I mean, it's different cultures, man. Yeah. It's different fan bases. It's all that stuff. You don't know. Like Manny Diaz clearly needed to be fired at Miami, but he's done pretty well at Duke.
Well, and I think, too,
you can fit in at different places.
And an avalanche is on you. If things
start to go south, it's hard to turn it back around.
On you. Shed writes, gents, great team win overall. Is it safe to say we need to reassess win totals after that performance? I think a lot of people are in their minds whether or not it's safe to say. I mean, everybody walked out of that stadium going, well,
the biggest thing is, man, I was pretty convinced that you were probably going to not guaranteed. You were going to lose at least 3 games. I thought the high side was probably 9-3.
Yeah.
Well, now I don't. Now I think the high side could be 11-1. I mean, honestly, that's on the table now.
Yeah.
Those games are going to be. You're not going to be a 10-point underdog at Clemson. You're not. You would have been. We thought they were going to be a 15-point underdog at Clemson. They're not going to. They're probably at most be like a 7 or 8, unless things come off the. If they look like this for the next 6-7 weeks, you're not going to be a prohibitive underdog against anybody.
I think the next big test, it'll be interesting to see how do they handle Miami when Miami comes here, because those are big boy athletes. That's a good line of scrimmage. I'm going to be very curious to see. You know, I suspect Carson Beck won't miss those intermediate to short throws that Ty Simpson missed.
Yeah,
repeatedly.
But I also suspect this quarterback will not be as easily rattled or tackled as the Notre Dame quarterback.
Sure.
So you got some stuff that you get to work with too. And if you can run for 230 on Alabama, that travels, and you could probably do it against everybody. You're going to be able to probably run the ball against everybody because of it. I mean, they could get in a goal line defense, and then you have to prove.
At some point, listen, to your point, and this is why it's a long season, and we should be excited, and there are a lot of things that are good signs. If you're a team, you're going to say at some point, especially if he keeps doing it, well, that dude ain't going to beat me. Throw the ball. You're going to throw the ball. There's no chance I'm letting you run around. You're going to throw it.
The beauty is you think that the tight end and the receivers are good enough that's a badass for your cornerbacks. You think, and he has had games where he's thrown for over 300 yards and he's made plays.
Somebody's going to make him
100%, and it might be Miami, and he might light them up.
But that's why
you don't know. We have no idea.
But that's one of the things I loved about that game was that they didn't win with the guys we thought they were going to win with on offense.
Right.
You know, it wasn't Deuce. It wasn't Boggs.
Yeah, they had 3 catches, Deuce and Squirrel combined, and Boggs had 0.
So, I mean, that's exciting that you still have that stuff that you haven't even pulled out of the garage yet.
Cromall might be the best freshman running back in the country by the time he gets
better than Adrian Peterson.
Well, I don't think it's a might. He is better than Adrian Peterson.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Writes Jerry. If this improves in the next month, do you think we can win the Clemson? Jerry, can we enjoy this game? I mean, I would love to believe that we're going to go on the road and kick Clemson's ass.
So I think what happened, what Saturday did, though, is that seemed like unwinnable. And look, man, you're still going to be an underdog, and you don't win at Clemson much. So I don't know that you're expecting to go up there and win, but it becomes at least winnable because how bad Klubnik looked again.
The way he looked.
And it ain't like LSU has been defensive juggernaut here lately. To look that bad at home, you should have lost by 2 touchdowns. They took away a catch that I don't know why they took it away, but they did. They looked not good. You looked like you looked. it's also August 30th when you're playing those games. You don't. November's completely different. But on paper, you are not going to be drastically overwhelmed by anything Clemson brings to you.
Walter writes,
healthy.
Good afternoon, winners.
Amen.
You giggled at my 12-0, 2-10, 12-0 forecast several weeks ago. Plenty of room on the bus, boys. Jump on board for a sweet ride. Thank you, Walter. It's always a pleasure.
Look, in Florida State, going back to last year, won 2 of their last 3. Charleston Southern, tough loss to Florida, then they beat Alabama. I'm just saying. They're 2-1 their last 3. They're starting to feel it. It's funny now, Hale tweeted out something about Clemson, like one of their stats after they lost that game, that they're like, I don't know what he said. They're like 6-4 in their last 10 against Division I opponents, or some weird stat where I'm like, no way, they were pretty good last year. But you do forget they kicked that. If they don't win that, if they don't win that ACC championship game, and then they start out this year with that performance, yeah, man, the pressure's going to get a little heavy.
Corey. It's getting late in the show. I can hear it. You seem worn down.
What?
Get locked in.
About what?
You're stuttering a little bit. You can't remember the stat you wanted to quote.
Was some dumb Hale stat.
This is not who you are, my man.
Shut up.
You call everybody out. I'm calling you out right now, man. You're just stuttering away.
You call out the stat board person every week.
I know. I'm having some car issues, so my mind's a little elsewhere.
I can see it. He's off in Neverland.
Sydney Sweeney fan club asked, how did Patrick Payton play for LSU?
Well.
Apparently played pretty well. I don't think he put up big numbers.
No, but he according to PFF, if you care, he was their second highest graded defensive player, and he played like 35 snaps, so not the whole game.
The book, it's not great, but
he batted a ball down.
Shocker.
Where'd
that go?
Batted ball.
Where'd that go last year?
The bookend on the other side doesn't seem like it went quite as well at Oklahoma. He started, but played 14 plays.
Marvin.
And I don't know if maybe he got banged up. He only played 14 plays. And it looked like he did nothing, and his grades were pretty bad.
DBR writes, we had a lot of players hurt all spring, and the O-line wasn't together on the field until the fall. If we can play that well this quickly with players that have never played together, how terrible were Atkins and Fuller at their jobs?
I mean, they were part of an ACC championship, should have been a playoff team. So they had some very good moments here. But
I'm just not
last year they were not. They didn't do.
It's a positive show today, fellas.
Yeah, they didn't do great.
That's what we're doing out here. Florida Pirate writes, hey, heck of a great weekend, boys. Ira, in honor of your twofer legacy, will you do a twofer of Julio's? Don Julio is what I think he's talking about. You did more. You did
3.
You did 3, and it wasn't just the Don Julio. You had the good stuff.
None of the Don Julio.
Oh,
is Don Julio not the good stuff?
No.
Well, I mean, I think they're in defense of Don Julio, because we're still working on our sponsorship.
Yeah, right.
They do have some better brands. I got the. You
got the low end.
Yeah, I got the lowest of the low ends.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Bottom of the barrel.
You don't have a sophisticated palate.
I do not
when it comes to tequila.
But that's changing though, buddy. I had Phil got me a really nice bottle, so I had one shot from that.
Okay,
and then Chris, our guy in California,
out in San Diego,
he'd sent me this bottle 2 years ago. And I was just like, well, I was debating. We were thinking maybe the playoff, but then they didn't get in the playoff.
Yeah.
And then last year, certainly no reasons to break it out last year.
Yeah,
so he emailed me the night, Sunday night, and said, hey, maybe open it on the Smash. So I opened it. It's done. Dude, it's a bottle of tequila that it comes in its own case. Like it's
one of those things.
It's
I
crazy.
got you.
And man, that was good stuff.
So very quickly, because I want to be fair here, we're answering 3 quick questions before we go to break. You ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ryan says, hello, gentlemen. I've got no problem with the team dancing during the final 2 minutes during the game, especially since it was against the program that took our playoff spot.
Amen.
Yeah.
And tried to take your coach.
Right. Jeff, was that Randy Pittman block worthy of a sir? That man has a family moment. Thanks for all you guys do. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. That block was awesome. Nice. I've watched it 10 times over. Tyler writes, how much does this first game change your W's and L's?
It bumps it up 1 for sure.
Yeah. I would. Yeah. Now, before the season, I was thinking 8-4, 7-5 is possible. Right now, I would say 8, 9-3. And maybe
8-4 needs to be the absolute basement,
right?
Because that means you've gone 6-4. Well, you've gone 5-4 in your 9 Division I games.
Chad writes, gentlemen, first off, woo, suck it, Bama. Secondly, I purchased some registered sausage for the first time this weekend to do breakfast at the tailgate.
How was it in your mouth?
He says, wow, just wow.
Yeah, amen.
He said the spicy was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And he wants them to ship up to Knoxville now.
Oh, they'll ship
anywhere you want except Alaska.
Well, actually, real quick. So, yeah, you can get it mailed wherever. But Ben did tell me that they're actually expanding where their distributions go to. So we'll have more information on that soon.
Oh.
But some expanded areas in the country are going to start
Nicely
getting
done. Santosh writes, good day, gentlemen. Now that's what I call a sweet victory. Speaking of sweet victory, it was pretty sweet to see our team dancing to Soldier Boy Superman with 2 minutes left in the game. Well, great to see us back to the heydays of taunting our opponents.
Yeah.
Clearly need some better dance move from the youngins.
So how old were they when that song came out?
I mean, most of them were. They
By the
were
way,
probably 2.
The way time flies now, it feels like that song was popular 9 years ago. It's probably like 18.
It was, when because we were at the Music City Bowl. I don't know if you remember this.
I wasn't there.
Man.
So at the Music City Bowl, they had the
good old Music City.
They had one of those things where they had like kiddie dance clubs, like from around Nashville.
Right.
Like they all came out and did their own performance, and they had them doing a performance to that song. And I'm like, I don't know if
That
I
doesn't
want.
seem appropriate.
When was the last time either one of y'all Superman to hoe?
Yeah. So are we're going to a break? We're going to a break.
I just told you Corey wasn't
go to a
feeling
break?
today. He was just not on his game. This is what we got.
I mean, I know y'all done it.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
A multi-vehicle crash occurred Sunday afternoon on I-10 West in Gadsden County after a vehicle caught fire near mile marker 183 at about 3 p.m. An older model sedan went ablaze, causing westbound traffic to slow down. The passengers and driver were able to get out without injuries, but a 20-year-old Tallahassee man was driving a Jeep. He was not paying attention and crashed into the back of the Nissan in front of him. The Nissan was carrying 5 people. The Jeep caused the Nissan to crash into a car ahead of it. All 3 drivers had serious injuries but were non-life-threatening. The passengers in the first car were rescued from the vehicle. A rear passenger was taken to Tallahassee Memorial by helicopter as precaution. A man was injured after a shooting in Tallahassee Saturday evening. The shooting happened just before 10 p.m. near Liberty Street and Perry Street. The man had non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to a local hospital to be treated. A person was arrested on scene in connection to the shooting. This is an active investigation. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update. Brought to you by McElmore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at mclemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 89. Winds out of the northeast 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies tonight, lows level off around 68. Ample sunshine expected tomorrow. Slight chance of rain showers. High temperatures reach up to 89. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 85.
On the front lines, fighting the insanity of the woke, it's Matt and Brett Doster with America in View.
Matt, Florida has become the world leader for freedom, and I love being in the studio with you every week where we are reinforcing the conservative movement with truth, the Constitution, and a little redneck common sense. We're waking the woke.
That's right, Brett. We enjoy talking politics and what's going on in the world. We're bringing our take on the issues, doing our best to fight for freedom.
So tune in every Friday at 4 p.m. on Real Talk 93.3.
Attention all sandwich lovers. Café de Martin is bringing Peruvian fire to your lunch break with their all-new summer sandwich combos. Asado that melts in your mouth. Fried fish so fresh and crispy, it snaps. And smoked pork or chicken? Yes, please. Comboed with Peruvian fries and an iced tea for just $15. Available Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 3. Upgrade your lunch at Café de Martin in the Espositos Shopping Center. Online at cafedemartin.com.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Keep it rolling, boys. Question
real quick. Shout out to Ira about Soulja Boy.
Oh,
he asked them about who'd you ask? You asked Earl Little and Justin Cryer. Is that who you asked? And he pronounced it right. Because if I would have asked the question, I'd be like, what was it like to hear that Soldier Boy song?
Yeah, right. That would have been.
But Ira gave it the real Soldier Boy.
Yeah, you did the right thing.
305.
Yeah,
he's from Miami.
Yeah, he knows the deal.
To do it any other way would have upset me.
Yes, right. So I thought that was funny that he brought
However, that
Soulja
said, if you had said Soulja boy, I
That would have been awful. It doesn't fit right.
Corey was going to ask him if the last time that they had.
Yeah, the last time they had done that.
Glad you didn't.
I saved it for win the
Just
hallway.
curious, guys. When was the last time?
That would have been bad. Tony says the new staff looks great. Team's well coached. What level of job would it take for them to leave? Because getting it rolling at FSU is way better than some mid-tier job at a P4. I know way ahead in first world problems, et cetera, et cetera. Look, Tony's wanted to be a head coach. He's interviewed for being a head coach. I think he was a runner-up to the UCLA hire. And
they might be hiring. They might be hiring again soon.
Let me say this though. There's two things I would say about that, and I'm not trying to fill people with false hope, because we don't know what offers he would get at the end of the season. But I don't think he's only not gotten jobs because he didn't get them. I think he's also chosen. The impression I get is he's chosen to not take some jobs. So I don't think he's so desperate to be a head coach that he's just going to take whatever UAB or whoever that comes open. The other thing is, it is cool, man, the fact that he is from Florida. Well, he's not he's sort of from Florida. His wife is from Florida. They consider Florida their home. This is where their in-laws live. They come back here all the time. And the way he talked about that experience at the game on Saturday was awesome.
Yeah, that was really neat. We clipped that, right? That's on our Twitter and our YouTube, everything.
And again, we'll see. And he's got aspirations, but I don't think he's just chasing a job and he makes $2 million a year. So he could, look, and Brent Venables, it worked out for him. If you wait long enough in a job like this, you might get the Power 5 job or Power 4 job as opposed to having to take in that lower level.
If they end up a top 10 defense, though, the right job may call.
It could.
It could call. Davian says, thank God Mike Alford didn't listen to Corey and cancel the Bama game.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, that was a big win. That was a big win.
Sandman says Jeff would say all the time, you got to have that want to. I say what for. You can have all the talent of the world, but if you don't have it, it doesn't matter. Well, on defense, it really is about a willingness to stick your head in there and hit somebody. You can't turn it down. You got to be willing to play recklessly, and I think Florida State's defense did play recklessly, and that's a compliment. And Matt just gave us some money, so that's cool. Thanks,
nice.
Matt.
And what about Facebook, Jeff?
I've been all over Facebook.
Oh, you good?
I've been going
good.
back
Just
and
want to make sure.
Back and forth. That's why I did the speed round a moment ago, was to try to catch us
well
up
done.
on some of these things. R.A. Noel writes, Chittiman, are football announcers told to promote targeting? They seem giddy about it. I would appreciate it if they'd say it was just a football play that will always look bad in slow motion.
Amen.
When Warchant rap, the movie gets made, will Segura and Kreischer play Corey and Ira? That's pretty funny.
So it was funny. I was talking to a friend of mine who doesn't know who Burt Kreischer is because I compared him to like the modern day Burt Reynolds. But most people do. And
what?
But Burt was a little bit more famous.
No,
than Burt
but
You
I'm
compared
saying,
Burt Kreischer to Burt Reynolds?
well, as far as like having a fan that is very, very well known. Not that he's a big a deal as a very famous fan.
Right.
Like he's not as famous as Matthew McConaughey. We get it. He's not as famous as Burt Reynolds was in the 80s.
Not close.
But Segura and Burt Kreischer are now they sell out world tours. Right. They sell out arenas in Thailand. So they're very, very famous. And I think it could be kind of cool if they become your McConaughey. That's all I'm saying. It's Burt Reynolds was last time he was on a sideline. It mattered.
Well, he's dead, Corey. He's not able to
I
be
know,
here.
but I'm saying it's cool that Florida State seems to have these two guys. We know Segura really grew up in Florida State, and Kreischer went here. Right. So it is cool that they might have two very famous fans. I know he's not the level of Burt Reynolds.
No, it is cool.
If you were the sports psychologist for Bama.
But Segura plays me. You get Kreischer.
Perfect.
If you were the sports psychologist for Bama, how would you treat their left tackle, Caden Proctor, after the game? The trauma of not one but two Desirs, half his size, rocking him like the walls of Jericho for 60 minutes may require intensive treatment.
And don't forget Stephon Thompson.
And that sack was nasty.
Yeah,
that was
stuff.
a ragdolling in that moment there. That was fun to see. Corey, you knew you were going to catch something here, just like I caught flack. DB Noel wants to know: do you think we should cancel the 26 Bama game?
Yes.
What?
Absolutely. I'm still on board that. You don't return the favor. Just say we're not going. You got your 9 conference games now.
Did you look up Proctor's grades in PFF? I didn't.
I just looked up pressures. He gave up 6, and that's not good. That's a problem. He gave up. It was hurries that I looked up. He gave up 6 and 2 sacks. He had a bad game. There's no getting around that. I was surprised how much the running backs were rotated against Bama. How do the headlines gang think this will play out moving forward through the season?
Well, Roydell's banged up, so he's going to be out for at least a little bit. So I look, man, I think Cromall is going to lead you in carries. Me personally will probably lead you in carries
As
the
the
next
year
two.
goes on,
Certainly, I think the next 2 weeks.
I think it was going to end up happening.
It probably would have been anyway, but that's the guy you got to get involved to see what he really is and what he's going to be by the end of the season. But I say it's Cromall and Sawchuk. Great, man, Sawchuk. Great, unbelievable run.
Yeah,
good addition to the team.
By the way, Keziah Holmes, nice catch on the bad pitch.
Yeah, it wasn't
because
a
the ball
good
slips
pitch.
out
Yeah.
of his hand, and he makes that play. And like, if that ball had been on the ground, just imagine this fan base after seeing the pitch. Trayshawn Ward, LSU.
Yeah.
Like, people would be like, "Can you stop, Mike?
Can
you stop with the pitches?"
I feel like he's just a good player. I don't know why he's so underutilized, or especially last year. But
I know Tom's
Tom
guy,
loves him, yeah.
so I'm not going to try to steal him. But it's really cool.
You want to
that
sing
kid,
the song, the Rosanna?
I'm going to
Okay.
let you stick
All right.
with it. I just think it's cool that kid stayed here.
Yeah,
because this is like his 4th year now.
Yeah, he's been here a minute and never really got
an opportunity.
This is kind of funny because I brought this up earlier, but Big Hoss, he chimed in last week. He says, Jeff, now that Ira has confirmed Chick-fil-A is healthy and that I'm not a fat boy, what are the chances we'll be hosting College Game Day for Week 6 against Miami? Well, I brought it up earlier. Like, there's a good chance if they don't lose to Florida.
Yeah.
Or USF. Hell, USF looked great against Boise. So both
and
those teams.
obviously
both those
FSU needs to beat Virginia. Here's a question for both of you real quick. Say you're playing the ACC championship game. You're undefeated. If you win, you get a bye. If you lose, you're hosting a first-round playoff
give up
game.
the Florida game thing?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you're already in the championship game undefeated. If you lose, you're probably not going to be a top 4, but you'll get to host a playoff game. You win, you get a bye, and you go to whatever that next round is. Wouldn't you rather host a playoff game?
Well, I think financially the university would rather you host a playoff game for sure, but I would rather give ourselves the best chance to win a championship.
Screw that.
Which would be the bye.
I'll
go to wherever they go.
You're gonna want you're gonna want Michigan here on a Friday night in
Michigan
December.
Ain't going to the damn playoffs.
Watch them this weekend, Jeff. Watch them this weekend. That quarterback's the truth.
How nice was it to finally see some what for? Yes, absolutely. How does Coach Norvell capitalize now on the recruiting trail? Well, he better, right? I mean, we're on a roll here.
And they are, man. They had over 100 recruits there, and some people wondered, like, is that a bad thing to do? Because what if it goes poorly and you get
those
embarrassed?
people are pessimists.
Yeah,
you got to
exactly.
believe you're going to win, like I have.
But no, it was
since this game was scheduled.
And we've got a bunch of if you go to warchant.com, plenty of stories. We've had a bunch of stories over the weekend from quotes from players in the 2026 class, but 27, 28. And it's not just that they won, man. It's cool to hear these DBs talk about the way those DBs played. Like because they're sitting there envisioning them. They can envision themselves playing in that. And then you talk about the running backs and seeing what those running backs, the way they were used.
Also,
tight ends, the way they were used. It's man, that game was a huge for recruiting.
Also, Doak showed out.
Yeah.
Like that was an incredible atmosphere, man. That is a great atmosphere.
In the last minute of the show, we should just say that, and I was very proud. I tweeted this out during the game, before the game, after the game. Man, Florida State fans were awesome on Saturday. They just were awesome. And I really was happy that I made the decision to just go in as a fan, not media, and enjoy it that way. It was fantastic. To be immersed in it and to see it play out organically was beautiful.
So the fears everybody had about the club, people sitting in their seats.
They were the Champions Club was as crowded as it's ever been.
Apparently, they changed how it's structured in there, so it's not easy to just stay inside there and watch.
I think you should shoot people with BB guns until they go back and sit.
I think they took a less violent approach.
Well, whatever. I mean, we all got our own ways of doing things.
And since it's a minor complaint, and in only 50 seconds that we have left or so, I was told that I think for the rich people seats down below, like that level that's just above them, there may have been some spillages on the really rich folk in that space down there. It happens. It happens.
What you get when you sit below the peasants.
Sometimes the rich get eaten.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure they'll figure it out, but that makes me laugh.
That is funny. You spend a lot of money. It's like, I got beer on me. Awesome.
Remember when we were at the softball regional, super regional? The press box, there's a similar setting for the outdoor press area.
Right.
And we're sitting there, and there's just like stuff keeps like flying on us. And I'm like, what the? And it was just the wind. But at first, I thought the people behind us were like throwing stuff on us.
People are throwing peanuts at them.
Corey's like, I think it's just the wind. Ira, settle down. We're not in the 305.
But I'll fight. Where do I got to go?
At least it wasn't a bee. I've seen you react to bees.
Bees are ridiculous. Bees and squirrels. He's scared.
Well, you should be scared of squirrels. All right, say goodbye, boys. Say
Peace
goodbye, Corey.
out.
All right,
Peace
that's
out.
it. You're done. Good luck on your car. And say goodbye, Ira.
We'll talk to you next week. Noel's in the top 15, number 14 in the AP poll.
Boom. And bonus hour, power hour coming up next. Stay tuned. Peace.